Shalom, 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 Yasha'Allah. This is your boy, Brother Shamwa Allah, back at you with another quick edifying video. Today's lesson is going to be called Closed. All right. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Halal Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahawah, and His only begotten Son's name, who you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahawashi. All right, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Rawchaa Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, who have ruled well to the Spirit, and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days, and has pushed this gospel and this truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom. Another mighty shalom to all you Akim out there laboring on the highways and on the hedges and on the unicorn, which is this internet, pushing this 100% doctrine, this 100% truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom to you all as well. All right, like I said, today's lesson is going to be called Closed. And I kind of mentioned this in today's camp. You know, this is the article, Salakia. It's from the U.S. Sun, right? It says Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo among banks closed in just 5 weeks in shock moves, dominating shutdowns in 2025. All right. While they sit there and they say, you know, let's make this place great again, right? Ultimately, everything is shutting down, right? Including the banks. All right. Because ultimately, what are they trying to do? They're ultimately trying to go to digital, right? And that digital, right, will lead to the MOTB. All right. Revelation 17 and 16. It's all part of their agenda. All right. This is how they're going to make this place great again. All right. This is, it says huge U.S. banks have been shutting down branches left and right, including Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo. It says these bank giants, among others, have shuttered roughly 145 branches across just 5 weeks, with more likely on the way. Okay. It says the financial institutions notified the office of the comptroller of the currency, or the OCC, of their planned closures, which dates spanning from February 7th to March 14th. It says filing the required shutdown notice does not necessarily mean all of the listed banks closed down, although in most cases they do. And you've seen it, right? Just in your community. Right? I know I've seen it, right? I've gotten letters, you know, hey, you know, the bank that you basically signed up for is not going to be in existence anymore. All right. Salakia. It says Flagster Bank topped the list of banks slated for closure with 44 branches, followed by TD Bank with 38 locations. Bank of America, which saw the greatest number of branch closures in 2024 at 168. All right. Because they're going away from this cash. They're going away from this, this paper dollar. All right, that is they're all in this agenda to get rid of this. Okay, it says registered plans to close 9 locations from February 7th to March 14th. It says Chase also filed notice for 9 closures during the same 5-week period. All right. It says the closures were preceded by another wave of shutdowns from January 12th to February 6th, during which banks such as U.S. Bank, Wells Fargo, PNC notified the OCC of 107 planned closures. The wave of closures is expected to intensify in 2025, leading to the further 4.1% or 11% reduction by the year's end. Retail bank closures in the U.S. aren't slowing, and our researchers shows that the last time this many people relied on a local bank branch was in 1995. It says digital marketing expert Darren Kingsman told the Daily Mail. So it says bank branches shutting down across the country are an ongoing trend worsened by the pandemic. In 2023, the U.S. experienced the greatest number of bank failures since the 2008 recession. It says then in the third quarter of 2024, U.S. bank branch closures reached their highest quarterly level since the first quarter of 2022, with 439 net closures. A total of 944 net branches were closed in the first 9 months of 2024. It says there are a number of factors contributing to the accelerating levels of bank branches shutting down in the U.S. Bank assets such as cash investments, loans, reserves are dropping in value due to increasing interest rate, leaving banks without enough assets to pay off the debts. Economic factors such as high interest levels, slowed economic growth, inflation, recessions, and housing market crashes have contributed to the bank branches closures. Following the 2008 recession, stricter regulations, including FDIC deposit protection and potential congressional oversight, may increase the risk of a bank branch closure. Tech changes, such as the rise in online and mobile banking, have made it more difficult for bank branches to make ends meet. Why? Because it's going digital. All right. It's going digital, right? And with this digital, you see the positions and places are closing down. All right. It says the significant drop in bank branch numbers could have a far-reaching impact on those who rely on physical bank locations, experts have warned. It says while we are moving towards a cashless society, widespread bank closures mean a jump in the number of customers per bank branch. Kingman explained to the dailymail.com, right? So you see it. What does this say? It says while we are moving towards a cashless society, okay? And that cashless society is going to lead to what? Revelation.17 KJVA. It says coupled with the fact that more than 200 million Americans still make cash deposits, the experts predicted longer wait times in banks and potentially lower overall customer experience. The closure of these branches can be particularly problematic for elderly customers who may have more difficulty with online and mobile banking. The mass shutdowns also disproportionately impact banking customers who are on low incomes, disabled, or racial diverse backgrounds, research has shown. It says physical banks may become a thing of the past, with the last brick and mortar bank potentially shutting as early as 2041, per a report from Self Financial. This year, estimated by analyzing the rate of the net bank branch closures across the U.S., which has averaged 1,646 every year since 2018. While economic factors such as high interest, slowed economic growth, inflation have pushed mass bank branch closures, they have also led to increasing rates of store shutdowns. All right. So you see, store shutdowns are also happening because of this. Okay. For example, an iconic discount retailer and Dollar Tree rival confirmed it would close down 141 locations as the CEO revealed a cryptic flaw. Meanwhile, a craft retailer's liquidation sales are in full swing as it closes 500 stores. But now shoppers face orders warning. Okay. So it says an iconic discount retailer and Dollar Tree rival, right? So listen, right? Not only does that impact just the banks, with the cashless, but it's also going to impact what? The stores, right? So while they sit there and they're telling you that they're trying to make this place great again, that they're steadily closing the doors around you, right? And pushing you into this NWO, this new system, okay? And let's get this real. I'm just going to get a couple of scriptures, right? And this is our job is to continue to watch and show people, right? Ezekiel chapter 3 In verse 17, it says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. Okay? So the Lord told us, as watchmen, we are to do what? We are to watch and to warn people. You sit on that tower and you watch and you observe what's going on and you read out. If you see danger ahead and you see things happening so that people are warned, you blow the alarm, right? And that's what we're doing. All right, we get on the unicorn and we blow the alarm. We get on the highways and hedges and we blow the alarm to warn people. All right. It says, Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 11, it says, and go get thee, Salakia. Let's go to verse 10. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, all my words that I shall speak unto thee, receive in thine heart and hear in thine ears. All right. And go get thee to them of the captivity unto the children of thy people, and speak unto them, and tell them, thus saith Yahawah Bahasham thy power, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. Okay? And as we warn people, what are we letting them know? Let's get this. Salakia. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse number 3. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders shall cease, because they are few. Those that look out of the windows be darkened. All right. The grinding is going to cease in this place. All right. We see the productions, even though they're trying to put back jobs here. Right. What good is it, right? If you don't have, you're doing all this and then you have your money, and where are you going to go if everything is shut down, right? Because ultimately they're trying to push their agenda, right? It says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird. All the daughters of music shall be brought low. Okay. But the streets, we see them. The streets, the doors, they're shutting down left and right, right? This is going to have a ripple effect, okay? Everything that's going on, okay? Because ultimately, you saw what they said, that, this place is going cashless, okay? And remember, they had a thing where ultimately it was supposed to start, I believe, March 9th or 8th. Something, but then they've extended it, okay? But in the meantime, right, when you closing down banks, you're not bringing this stuff back, right? Because there's a purpose and there's an agenda. So now when you have just a few bank branches to go to, right, and you have certain people are piling into these things, what are they going to tell them? Hey, well, you can do this online. Hey, you can do this digitally. You don't have to. You can take your money but why? Because they want to push this digital, right? Because this digital is going to lead to the MOTB. Okay, let's get this real quick, right? But with that going, so do a lot of these other places. Okay, 2nd Ezra 6 and verse number 22, right? It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall be suddenly found empty. Okay. And what do you have? You have this, not only do you have these bank closures, right? But you also have your boy Nero doing all these tariffs, right? Taxing tariffs and counter tariffs, right? Is what's going to do what? It's going to cause the stuff to go up where people can't afford this stuff. All right. People are, and the retaliations, what are they going to do? Hey, stop bringing this stuff in. Okay. It's too much of a cost, too much of a liability. We can go do this somewhere else, right? These things are coming, right? The famines, all these things are coming upon us, right? And when we see it happening, all right, we see it happening, and you don't start shutting down your financial system unless you're planning on doing something else, all right? And ultimately, we know what that is, right? Let's get that, right? So as they continue to close these banks, right? And what's so crazy, there's lessons, right? You see that all these banks are closing, And your boy Warren Buffett, what did he do? He was selling billions of stock, right? It was either millions or billions of stock during the summertime. He was just selling what? Bank of America stock. Why? Because these banks are closing, right? Because they know this digital is about to come. Okay? Right? We're not ignorant to Satan's devices. Okay? We're not ignorant to this. All right? And we're showing you. You know, all you people who love, you know, chasing this money and doing this stuff is about to end. Right? You've been killing each other for this paper that's gonna be worthless in a few. All right? Revelation, right? 13 and verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Okay? Because ultimately all these things are all leading up to this point right here. Okay? Which is that ultimate test. All right? So this cashless, you know, these things are all strategic. Okay? And I've been bringing out lessons, you know, and I know other brothers, the elders and the apostles, they've been bringing out these things, you know, showing that this stuff is coming. Okay? And they're Bank of America, right? They've been planning this stuff. All right? But when you see like somebody like Warren Buffett, who was, you know, who's a billionaire, and he's selling all his stock in this thing, is to take heed, right? Because guess what? This place, they're going to crash this system. All right? And they're slowly bleeding it out, right? Just like they're doing all these stores. All these stores are starting to close down and cease. All right? Because they're closing in the opportunity and the choices that you have. Because ultimately, this is going to be the choice. Okay? It's going to be this, right? Or death, you know? And they're going to push this and make this mandatory, right? And this is what's got to happen in order for, you know, stuff to, once this happens, everything's going to start speeding up, man. Right? Chaos is going to be, you know, in soon. And we're just waiting for that. You know, we know Esau's always got something planned, some kind of mass event that he's going to use, all right, to try to push this agenda. Okay? So that's why we have to continue to watch and see what's going on. All right? But when you see all these banks closing down, all these branches, right, in your financial institution, right, that keeps the economy. Hey, we know that something's going on. Something big is about to happen. And we're trying to warn you, right? Because ultimately all this is going to lead into the MOTB, all right? It's going to lead to receiving a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, all right? And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, which is the charagma, all right? Which is a physical, the RFID CHIP, okay? It's coming, right? It's coming. I've done lessons the last few days about it. That technology is there, right? And they're going to push this agenda and make this a mandatory thing. All right. So while those are closing, guess what? Because they're about to open up their NWO. All right. So I might make this lesson closed for the opening of the NWO or the MOTB, something to that effect. All right. So I just wanted to bring this out. I know I kind of mentioned it at today's camp, but I just wanted to bring out the article that I saw. Okay. So, Lord's will, this was edifying, right? With that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Halal, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash, peace and blessings to the elect of the 12 tribes scattered abroad. A mighty shalom to the 144,000 men and to the rest of the elect. Stay diligent, stay focused, keep praying for one another, right? And keep Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi at the top, right? Because that's going to be your salvation. That's what's going to get you through this. All right? Okay? You're not going to be able to depend on this stuff. Esau, right? He wants to catch you in that trap. All right? But you have to abide in Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi at the end of the day. All right? So with that, I'll say shalom.